What if the stories we dismiss as myths, urban legends, or mere figments of imagination were chillingly true? Tonight, we delve into 3 terrifying tales reported in the news, stories so unsettling that they blur the line between the living and the dead. From ghostly passengers to houses with dark secrets, these are not just stories, they are real-life accounts that will make you question everything you think you know about the world around you. Turn off the lights, settle in, and prepare for a journey into the unknown. The 2011 tsunami left a haunting mark on the region of Ishinomaki, Japan, claiming thousands of lives and transforming once thriving neighborhoods into eerie wastelands. Taxi drivers in the area, accustomed to quiet roads and the occasional late-night traveler, began reporting something inexplicable. One driver recounted a ride that shook him to his core. Late one foggy night, he picked up a young woman standing near an intersection where few dared to venture after dark. She wore a soaked kimono, her hair dripping with water. She slipped into the back seat without a word, her presence as cold as the night air. "Where to?" the driver asked, breaking the unsettling silence. She gave him an address in a district that had been entirely obliterated by the tsunami. Though confused, he drove on, unsure whether to engage her further. As they approached the site, her voice trembled, and she asked, "Am I dead?" Startled, the driver turned to respond, only to find the back seat empty. He slammed on the brakes, his heart pounding. The story didn't remain his alone. Several other drivers in the region reported similar phantom passengers, each bound for places that no longer existed. Jane, a young professional in England, often took the same route home after work, passing by rows of quaint brick homes. One particular house caught her attention, a stately, though slightly decrepit, Victorian building. Its upstairs window was perpetually illuminated, and for weeks, she noticed a man standing there. He had a gaunt face, his hollow eyes tracking her every movement. Jane felt uneasy, but she brushed it off as paranoia. Perhaps he was an eccentric resident, lonely and curious about passers-by. One evening, unable to shake her unease, she casually mentioned the man to her neighbor. The neighbor's face went pale. "That house has been empty for years," he said. Jane's blood ran cold. Convinced she must have been mistaken, she pointed out the window the next day, only to find it covered in dust and cobwebs from the inside. Weeks later, police investigating a series of local break-ins discovered a squatter had been living in the attic of the Victorian house, sneaking out only at night. Whether Jane's staring man was the squatter or something more sinister remains a question she refuses to dwell on. The quiet streets of Gary, Indiana, hold many secrets, but few are as chilling as the events that unfolded in 2014 in a nondescript house on Carolina Street. LaToya Ammons and her family moved into the home with the hope of starting fresh. It wasn't long before their optimism turned to dread. Strange phenomena began innocently enough, the sound of footsteps echoing through empty rooms, doors creaking open on their own. But the incidents quickly escalated into something far more sinister. One evening, as LaToya tucked her children into bed, her youngest son let out a piercing scream. Rushing to his side, she found him levitating above the bed, his eyes rolled back into his head. She pulled him down with all her strength, and as his body hit the mattress, he immediately fell asleep, as though nothing had happened. From that point on, the house seemed alive with malevolence. Family members were thrown against walls by unseen forces. Wet footprints appeared on the floor despite the house being dry. LaToya's mother claimed she saw shadows flitting through the hallways, always just out of reach. Desperate for answers, LaToya contacted her church, and a priest performed several exorcisms on the home. Even law enforcement got involved. Officers who investigated the house reported feeling an oppressive energy and witnessed objects moving inexplicably. One officer claimed his hand was shoved violently while taking photos of the basement, and another stated he heard a deep growl emanating from the walls. The family finally abandoned the home, leaving everything behind. It was later demolished, but the stories of what occurred within its walls have lived on, a chilling reminder of the unknown forces that might lurk in the shadows of our lives. The world is filled with mysteries, some we can explain, and others that remain beyond our comprehension. The stories you've heard tonight are just a fraction of the strange and terrifying events that have been documented in real life. Are they warnings? Echoes of the past? Or something even darker? Whatever the case, they remind us that sometimes, the scariest things aren't in the shadows of our imagination but right here in the world we call home. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed tonight's tales, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification bell, so you never miss a story that will send shivers down your spine. Sleep tight, if you can.